There's only 4 of us. Nobody
And
else
we are
joined?
live.
All right, says we are live. So hello everyone, welcome to the Loveless by Alice Oseman book discussion. My name is Alicia from Books and Things with Alicia, and I will let everybody else introduce themselves before we get started.
I guess I'll go. I'm Morgan from Morgan's Bookshelves, and I don't know what else I'm supposed to say.
Like a little bit about you or your channel.
This is my second live show for the late night bookworming book club, which is very exciting. And my content is all book things, and I have a new video going up today. If I can get off my ass and edit it, because I was supposed to edit it yesterday. You okay, Katie?
I was looking at Lucinda's
Lucinda has
COVID testing, and I'm like,
oh no,
where's the faint line?
I can see
that
it.
That is a faint line.
It's very faint.
It's so faint you can barely see.
Yeah,
but it's positive. Okay, we're not going to start the live show with COVID.
We'll save that for later.
Anyways,
Katie, do you want to introduce yourself?
Please take care of yourself.
Or
so, anyway, I am Katie from Kick-Ass-Career. Yeah.
Oh, YouTube, I know we are live.
You are the creator of this wonderful book club.
She is.
Credit to
and
the
it's
creator.
still going. Yeah.
And I will go back and have everybody's links in the description afterwards.
Yeah. Well, I'm Hope from It's Hope Books. Obviously make bookish content, or why else would I be here? And I'm excited to talk about this book.
I mean,
yeah, we're all
broke
in.
It's like we've been here enough times.
You broke in. You don't actually belong to the book club. You just have been breaking in ever since. Hacked into the live show and the Twitter. And we just let you be here because if we don't, you'll send the Canadian moose after us.
Oh no, anything but that. All right.
Moose are fucking
Who wants
terrifying.
to say what the book is about?
Katie?
I can if you want. Yeah. So, this is the story of Georgia, who has never been kissed, never been in love, and basically it's a story of them discovering their sexuality, trying to figure out why it is that they don't feel the way as like a normal relationship couple feels. So yes, it's a discovery into like asexuality. There are other LGBTQ plus in the book as well, not just like with the main storyline, but kind of like side storylines that intermingle with it. But yeah, it's more just like a coming of age discovering of self of Georgia and her sexuality, pretty much.
Yeah.
Solid.
And what format did everybody read it in? I had the hardback edition.
I love the American hardback, actually.
Yeah, I want it, even though I own the paperback.
I can send it to you.
Shipping might be expensive, but sure.
I listened to the audiobook.
Yeah, I listened to the audiobook mostly, but sometimes I did read alongside it, but mostly the audiobook.
And I just read the physical book, like the paperback.
And what would you say your rating is for this book?
4 stars.
I think for me it came out as a 5.
5 stars probably will end up being on my top 10 books of the year.
Nice.
I can tell you that already.
Nobody.
I do not have a rating for it yet because I have temporarily DNF'd it. I could not get into the book. So this is the first one that I haven't been able to get into, and I don't know why. So we're going to set it down and then pick it up at a later time.
I know, I find it funny because of like the person like you're hosting the live show and yet you didn't finish
I know.
it. It's like funny.
Trust me, I've been kind of like, I don't know how this is going to work.
Secretly crying.
Characters.
Oh,
Let's talk
Alicia,
about
we're not
characters.
friends anymore. Get out. We need a new co-host.
Applications in the description below. We're still going to monopolize your channel because you're already live and we're all too
Just
lazy
like
to make a new.
just leaves were in control.
But hey, this is why I like book clubs, because I love the fact that not everyone is the same.
I have read all
We're
of
not
the
all
books,
same.
and or most of all of the books. This is the
Alicia,
first
you are
one
broken.
that I've broken my record of being
You are an
at least
android.
read all of the books.
That's fine.
The
Technically, if you want
only
to be
book I
specific,
haven't read was Spanish Love's Deception, but also I didn't know that this book club existed until like that. I tried to get a copy of it, but I couldn't find one. But I did attend the live show for that one. I was in the
I mean,
comics.
to be fair, I technically didn't read January's book until last week.
See, so we're
It was just a reread, so I knew January's book.
And technically, I'm still reading House of Earth and Blood. I haven't finished that one, so.
Wait,
But the rest of them I've read.
That?
Yeah,
What?
I'm still reading that.
We're supposed to be reading House of Earth and Blood.
That was
February and March's book.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It was.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
What-
Did I miss something?
You're like, uh-oh.
No.
Well, if you
Wait,
haven't
that
read
was-
it, you can read it and you can watch the live show, and then you're caught up.
Exactly.
No. Do not read
Okay,
it without me.
so
I want to
There's
reread
two
it.
live shows.
who is your favorite character of this one?
I mean, I just like Georgia, the main character.
I liked Georgia as well, but I think my favorite character is it's
Well, there's Felipe
Sam-
Quintana,
Samuel
Tommy.
Sam.
Don't look at me. I got nothing.
Not trying to remember the names.
We're just like, I know, I'm like, names.
I can tell you that Georgia, where I'm at in the book right now, she gives me a headache. I don't.
I think my
She
favorite
wants to go
character-
after things, and I'm just going, just do it. Just do it.
My favorite character is probably I don't know how to say his name, but it starts with an S, and I'm just gonna call him Georgia's college.
There's Jason Farley Shaw, Felipe Quintana.
I'm trying to find the name. I know who you're talking about.
There's Rooney as well.
I kind of like Rooney. That's the roommate, right?
Yeah, I did like Rooney too.
From
I
what
know
I've seen of her so far, I like her.
Yeah, my favorite character was definitely Georgia. I can relate to her on some like levels of like how she's awkward and doesn't really know what to do and is just kind of like, honestly, she's annoying and I'm very annoying sometimes. Yeah.
I mean, same.
So, who is your least favorite character?
For me, I probably would have to say like Pip. I don't know why. Sometimes she annoyed me.
I
could see that.
I would have to agree that Pip is probably my least favorite character.
And there was certainly like when they like had the falling out, and I was just like, really?
Yeah,
Like
I understand why they kind of had that falling out, but also at the same time, it's just like, okay, but if you would, it's like if you would have just listened to, like, if Pip would have listened to Georgia for 5 minutes,
yeah,
there wouldn't have been that falling out. It's just Pip was too like self-centered.
Yeah,
listen.
there's poor Georgia. Like, it's not her fault. Like, to her, like, she was like not using Jason, was it? At
Yeah.
all. Like, she was just like trying to see what was wrong and if she could eventually fall in love.
But then I
Yes.
do understand why Pip would view, like, why Pip would think that George is using Jason.
And I mean, even Jason thought that, and I've been in Jason's shoes as somebody's quote unquote. I know that's not what Georgia was doing, but as someone's quote unquote experiment. And so I can definitely understand where his feelings are coming from for that.
The thing is, Jason being mad at Georgia makes sense.
Yeah.
But Pip being mad at Georgia is like almost like forced, of like, it's just like,
Yes.
oh, you're clearly taking the side of your one friend, not listening to both sides.
It's the blanking thing that I hate, and I've always hated it when people do that. They don't even let somebody explain themselves or whatever. They just blank them completely, and that's like another reason why I was just like, seriously, Pip, just let her talk.
But I will say, even though Pip is my least favorite character, she does have her good moments.
Yes.
Yes. Like when they redeemed their friendship, like,
That's one of the strengths that Alice has, is writing good characters. But yeah.
What did we think of the plot of the story?
The reason I gave it 4 stars is because I felt like the book was too long. I feel like it could have been 50 pages shorter, and it would have been a lot better, in my opinion. There were several times where I was like listening to the audiobook and I was like, okay, but like we've been doing this for like 20 minutes, and I would look at my phone and it would be like, you still have like 4.5 hours left. And it's like, okay,
Wow.
it felt like it dragged, especially towards the end. It felt very longer than it needed to be.
Yeah,
like it's 430 pages, and it did not need to be that long.
Yeah, I can kind of agree with that. Like, thinking back, like, yeah, it did kind of like did drag on, but I think I was just so invested in the characters, I didn't care that it was dragging on.
That's fair. I guess I just wasn't as invested in the characters as I have been with Heartstopper, as I was with Heartstopper, I should say.
That's because Heartstopper's just magical.
I can agree with that one. I was more invested with Heartstopper than this one.
Yeah, even though the novellas that I've read definitely are more invested in those characters than these ones, but I do still love the characters from this book.
Yeah,
and also Heartstopper's graphic novel and
Yeah,
full of happiness.
The happiness part is debatable.
What? Right. Get out, Morgan. New co-host.
I mean, no. We should kick Alicia out. She hasn't watched the show.
Yeah, I haven't watched Heartstopper yet.
Versus the
it's
other
on my
three of
to-do
us
list.
have watched it together.
I just feel so left out.
No, don't leave.
We're kidding.
Okay, so what do we think about the writing style for this one?
I love Alice's writing style.
Yes.
That is definitely one of the strengths that she has, and that's part of like why I was willing to listen to the whole thing, because I feel like if Alice did not have the writing style that she does, I probably would have DNF'd it, or not enjoyed it as much as I did because of her writing style.
Yeah, I would say it is very easy to read. Like everything just flows so like smoothly, and for me it was just like I was it was very easy to read in the sense of like it just flowed nicely, and yeah.
Katie?
Yeah, I love Alice's writing all the time. She's great with like pop culture stuff as well. And like she'll always throw in like, something British as well, whether it's like Harry Potter or Spice Girls, or do you know what I mean? There's something that's like Brit related.
Yeah, one thing that I think is going to be interesting for me is I'm going to be reading Solitaire this month, which is Alice's first like novel. So it's going to be cool to see like, okay, how did her writing change from her first book to her latest book?
Yeah.
That's true. Rosie says, yeah, super easy. It flows like the ocean.
You didn't even read the book. Rose.
Rosie didn't read the book? Read the book?
She never reads the books. Saying that the best way possible.
But she knows about the books.
Tell me a book that Rosie has read that we did. She DNF'd House of Earth and Blood, didn't read Shadow Me, didn't read The Spanish Love Deception, didn't read Crave, didn't read Loveless. Those are all the books we've had.
I feel like Loveless would be something that Rosie should read anyway, just because of LGBT. What do you mean
She
never
says-
pick good books? Get out. This is why you're not
Lies. Hope lies. We did pick some good books, though, because there were some of them. I don't
Every
give
single
5
book
stars
that we
lightly.
have picked is good, but they're just not Rosie's type of good.
Yeah, not Rosie's sort of books.
And she said she read Crave before we did.
Sorry.
Ah, well. That's one you've read.
Was
You get 1
was she
point.
in the discussion for that one? I don't remember.
I feel like
don't.
Rosie may
She popped it
pop
out.
her head in a little, but I feel like Rosie also had a headache or didn't feel well or something.
Yeah, that's fair.
Or was tired or was busy. Something happened, I think.
Yeah.
Ah, she does want to read
I do want to
Loveless.
read Loveless, but she's in a reading slump.
Oof.
Yeah.
Okay,
You
Rosie,
never
you
know.
say, my friend.
Try the audiobook. The narrator for the audiobook does a good job.
Yeah, I really liked the audiobook for it.
I may try to read that, or use the audiobook when I attempt to read
Yeah,
this
maybe
again.
try the audiobook and see if it gives a better feel. Sometimes different formats can help.
Lucinda
Like I found
said
when
they're not my type.
physically read The Darkest Minds, I really enjoyed it, but when I listened to the audiobook, I didn't enjoy it so much. So sometimes it's dependent on.
That's another one I have to read. But moving on, what was your favorite part of the book? Obviously, I don't have one.
I think I'm gonna have to go with the argument in the stairwell between Landon, I think that's what his name was, and Georgia's college parent. And the reason I enjoyed that was my favorite part was because it showed a very real conversation when it comes to aromanticism and asexuality, and how other people view it. And also it talks about how you can still be a bigot even if you're part of a marginalized group. And that's something that I really appreciated because I feel like it's not something that's talked about enough. And putting it in a form of mainstream media, like a novel written by Alice Oseman, it feels I felt like it was handled really well, and it's definitely a conversation I've been a part of as a queer person. So that was my favorite part.
I just really like the Shakespeare Society stuff, like the Shakespeare.
I don't like Shakespeare, so I was kind of like,
Well, it's more like the acting performance side because I'm into all that stuff. So when they were doing like performance and whatever, I was like, yeah, this is cool.
I don't really think that I have a favorite moment or like just a moment that pops out. I know one thing that I did like it is when like Georgia and Rooney kind of are like when they push the beds together and it's almost like a sign of like not trust but like just the way that that was done I liked. That's like one thing that just popped into my head, but I don't know. I don't know.
yeah.
A lot of times with favorite books, like a book that you really love, at least for me, I struggle with favorite moments because I'm like, I love the whole thing.
That makes sense.
That does make sense. Rosie says, you don't like it, Alicia? Rosie, I have temporarily DNF'd the book. I cannot connect with the main characters or any of the characters. And I kind of want to just slap the main character at this point. So I had to put it down. And Rosie also wants to know if everyone has said their rating yet. Yes,
Yeah, we
if
said
ladies
it.
would like to reiterate.
I gave it 4 stars.
5.
There we go. And a
And
temporary
DNF.
DNF. Moving on, the least favorite part of the book. Everything for me. Just kidding.
I mean, I suppose the fact that Pip with her silly little being Pip.
Yeah.
That sounded like a Pip is being Pip. And
yeah, like Pip being Pip, like Pip did a Pip thing.
Yeah, that I think is one of my least favorite moments.
I think my least favorite moment was probably the scene with George's, I don't know if it was her aunt or her cousin at the McDonald's. I felt like that scene didn't really add anything to the story, and its placement in the timeline was a little bit weird for me.
Yeah, the cousin.
Because it felt kind of forced. Like, it didn't feel like it was a natural progression. It felt like it
filler.
was filler, exactly. So I think that was my least favorite part. Though I do appreciate that Alice was like, yeah, there's more people than you think experiencing a sexuality and aromanticism. It makes sense to me. Like, I appreciate its existence, but just where it was in the story didn't make a lot of sense to me.
Least favorite moment is that I haven't read it yet and that Alicia DNF'd. That is my least favorite moment too, Rosie.
Yes.
The DNF part.
I said temporarily DNF.
I know, we're joking. Like, we're not actually serious or being mad or anything.
I know.
Like, people read what they want to read. If they don't connect with a book, that is perfectly fine.
Exactly.
Yeah. It's a
My
different
DNF
story
system.
if you DNF'd it and said, I absolutely hated it and didn't give a reason.
I am curious, like, what Sam's going to rate it, actually, because I know she couldn't read it in time. So
Yeah.
I'm curious of Sam's rating when she does get around to it.
Based on when I talked to Sam, I think it was in my sprints, she was having similar feelings to Alicia.
Similar feelings, but not like, oh, I want to DNF it feelings, just more of not connecting with it.
Yeah. That's what I mean.
Yeah. And I'm just reiterating that of she's not saying Sam
Yeah.
didn't DNF it yet.
We're not sure where Sam is.
See,
Sam
Sam has some
He could be
sense.
reading.
He didn't want to
Sam
turn up.
is somewhere in Florida. That's where Sam
Yep.
is.
Yeah. That.
Sam has some sense and like DNF the book and didn't show her face out of guilt.
Or is she currently reading it?
She could be.
That is
Yeah.
also a possibility.
We
She
can
did
always
say
count
that she
on
wanted
Sam.
to try to read it as soon as possible.
She says we can always count on Sam to
That's
not like the
not
book. You can
true.
count on me for not reading the book.
That's not true. Sam liked House of Earth and Blood.
Yeah. I haven't finished that one, so
But
I
you're
haven't
liking
that
it,
one,
though,
so
right?
it's
You're
so
not
far.
hating
Well, yeah, I'm not too horribly far into it. I mean, out of an 800-page book, I'm only about 200 pages in. So there's that.
You're in the
But
early.
I haven't
rough
stopped I haven't stopped reading it. It's just slow going right now.
It is a big hefty book.
Yeah.
it's a little scary.
It's a
It's
little
a chunker.
intimidating.
That's why we
at
spent it over
times.
2 months.
Yep. So, next question is: would you reread this book?
I think I would in like a
Yes.
few years' time.
I've already said that I probably will reread it before the end of the year, solely because I have friends that are slowly trying to work through reading Alice Oseman's books. So if they end up reading it later this year, I'll be like, I'll gladly reread it with you.
I mean, put it this way, if I wasn't planning on rereading it, I wouldn't have got it signed and personalised, I guess.
Yeah. I'm still jealous of that. I'm still jealous that you
If
got to read
I
Alice
get a
Oseman last
physical copy, I might reread it because I'm wondering if it felt slow because I was listening.
Yeah,
to
I'm also
audio
thinking the
book.
same because I did kind of get you on the audiobook, and I think if I was to reread it again, when I get around to being like, oh, I'll reread it, then I think I'll read it physically just to see.
because with the audiobook is like, even if you're listening at a certain speed, there's moments that you're like, okay, can we just hurry up, get this through? But when you're reading with
And
your
then
eyes,
some
you're
bits
like,
as I was commuting whilst listening that I did miss out on a couple of sentences here and there.
it says hot mess, but hot is spelt weird.
Hot.
A hot mess.
Which is an accurate representation of my mood right now. I'm just a disaster.
Oh yes.
Would
that's
you
what I'm
buy
going
this
down.
book for someone else?
I would
Yes.
actually,
Yeah.
and I'm thinking about buying it for my cousin actually, who is on the A spectrum for the LGBT community.
Then I would say yes, that's an ideal book to get.
Yeah.
And its own voices as well, so.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah, because Alice Oseman, I think, is online as she has admitted that she is asexual romantic.
Yeah.
Cool. All right.
Rosie says yes. Buy it for me.
Buy it for me.
Rosie, if I could, I would, but
Yeah.
I am broke as fuck. So,
Literally to
Would
the
you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just yeah.
Would you read another book by this author? Obviously, we've
Absolutely.
already read.
We already have.
yeah,
We've already
Yes,
read
I would read
I've
Heartstopper.
read-
the other book.
This is the 7th Alice Oseman book I've read.
There's the
This-
same.
yeah. Of course, I
Sam,
would
what's your
reread.
thoughts so far?
Of course, I would read something by Alice Oseman again. I love it. One thing I do wish that her books had a little bit more of was disability rap, because I feel like the books are kind of lacking in that area. But that, again, that's like a personal thing.
That's
I'll buy it
understandable.
myself with gift note of Team Chaos. Well, we're halfway there.
Sam is only halfway through the book, but you're making
You're-
progress, so that's good.
Yep.
You're
And you're
further
farther
than
than-
I
You're
am, Sam.
further than Alicia, yeah.
She is further than I am.
Yep.
Congratulations.
How are you finding it? Do I dare ask?
Yeah. How are you liking it so far, Sam? Let us know.
Well, Sam just goes, I absolutely hate it.
Oof.
Would you
sometimes
like
in
another
books,
book?
they do start slow in that, and then they pick up, and then you actually end up being surprised. I found that like with The Host by Stephanie Meyer, like the first 200 pages were really slow, and then I ended up loving the rest of it. Sometimes in
Someone says
life,
it's fine. I don't think every book has to have every rep there. They've
They'd
boring
have
if they
been
all did the
boring.
same thing. Yeah.
Yeah, but like without having a whole argument about this, is like there should be more just rep in general in books, because when you look at the world,
Like, for example, I've only read one book that had an AFAB autistic character. And so I'm like,
I think authors are starting to write more like autistic characters because, for example, when I was at Yale, Cassandra Clare was talking about that she wrote an autistic character in one of her books, and that she'd used people that are actually like autistic for her research.
I would hope so, and I hope
yeah.
she avoided Autism Speaks, because if she has anything to do with Autism Speaks, I will be unhauling every Cassandra Clare book that I
I
own.
will say, without going totally off topic, I have read the series that I'm referring to, and from my knowledge about autism, it does seem fairly good rep, but again, just
Yeah,
my
people were asking questions on it, like, and they were saying like, "Oh, thank you for writing like autistic rep
yeah,
and
it's
that
not
and all
thrown in
that,"
your face.
and she literally was just like, "Yeah, I'd actually like asked like autistic people for
Yeah,
their like their point of views and stuff."
but
And
as
then what she did is she wrote it, and then she asked them like, is this a realistic thing? And then they were like, yeah. So that's how she did it. So it can be possible. You just got to be really careful.
No, it's like Morgan and other Santa Clare books, so you can see the rep for yourself and see if it's good or not.
Mm.
yeah, and again, autistic people are not a monolith. It's a spectrum. But
Well, yeah, but
yeah, I mean,
we're not going too off topic.
but yes, I do wish Alice had a little bit more disability rep, because she does have mental health rep. So I'm like, you could add in.
I think like the LGBT rap and also mental health rap is also own voices, because I know she does suffer mental health. That's
Yeah,
why she has a
Yeah,
lot of hiatuses.
it could
again, it's
just be
a
that at this moment in time, like with the books that she has previously written, didn't feel comfortable writing about disability rep, that she did not have enough research on. But who
yeah.
knows if in the future she writes another book, which I hope she does,
Mm.
might incorporate that in a little bit more.
Well, like I said, it's a personal thing.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just like, I want more representation for AFAB autistic people that don't make us look like idiots and paint us in a bad light. Because
Which is understandable. You want to see yourself on page.
exactly,
Yeah.
and you want like your favorite writers to put you on page. So, like I said,
Yeah.
it's a personal thing, and I mean, I'll still read her books regardless of whether or not she has any kind of other rep, because I mean, LGBT rep is still a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
Sam says, I'm wanting to skip forward, but having to stop myself. Rosie says, true, there isn't a whole lot of disability rep in books compared to the books without rep.
Yep.
That is true.
And
I was
Sam
looking
says,
up for my prompt for my July TBR of like mental health / disability rep. And I honestly could not find, I think maybe between, like I probably looked through about 10 different articles. There was maybe only like 50 different books between them all. It was a lot of like, repeating the same books.
Yeah, and
Which it's good that there are some, but it's like,
but it's
but
like
what if that type of books?
Yeah,
books
there's
isn't
more
for that
mental
person?
health rap compared to like autism or disability rap, I've
Yeah.
found.
yeah.
More
That's
diverse.
why.
Like I said, it's a personal thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Why don't you write your own, Morgan?
There you go.
You've got your rap,
I could do that.
at least.
I could do that.
That's probably why a lot of authors do it in the end, because they're like, oh, I want, like, nobody's written one, like, own voices, and then that's how they get pretty good.
That's how they get started. Yeah.
That's like Morgan
Well,
writes it
yeah,
down
and
in a
you'll
notebook.
probably be pitched up by a publisher fairly quick for own voices.
Yep.
Yeah.
Of
No,
course, it's better
just
compared
Morgan.
to
Add
years
it to the
ago.
list. You know what that means.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
I'm
add
doing
it to
that
the
right
list.
Just add it to the list.
I could list the ones basically all indie I've read if you want. Lucinda says.
Yeah,
Oh,
could
sure.
you DM that to me on Twitter, Lucinda? Because I would love more books with disability, specifically autism rep or ADHD rep, because that would be nice.
I hope there's going to be so much more so that everyone has lots of choice to see themselves represented in books.
Yes.
I think that will come in time as we become more and more aware.
I mean, it's better than
and
it was.
it gets
There's
written.
definitely a lot more
Yeah, if you
compared
look
to when
even
I
like
was young.
even as something as simple as 5 years back in publishing, it
Oh.
has come a long way.
Oh,
Mm.
for sure.
And it's only gonna get more diverse and more.
One thing I would love,
representation.
and like I'm not like, you know, deaf or blind, but I'd love more deaf and blind rap. I'd love to read more about people that are like deaf and blind. That's a rep that I would like to read from, just to.
Yes.
Yeah, I don't think I can think off the top of my head any books that fit that.
Yeah.
Yes, please take care of yourself first.
Yes.
Lucinda.
First
And
and foremost.
Rosie, in reference to your comment about me writing books, I want to. And I'm working on that, but I have a weird thing of I don't think any of my story ideas are good enough. And I also need to look into my story ideas because I need to work on compiling the list of story ideas that I have. So I might do that today, actually.
Yes, Ellie McNichol is it's a kind of spark, I think, is their first one. Someone bought it for me last year. It's meant to be Own Voices Autism rap of middle grade books.
Hey, I'm always here for that.
There you go.
But we are.
Next question is: would you like another book from this world?
I would like to see more of like what it's like of all of them living in the house.
Yeah, like when I finished the book, I was almost like, I want a little novella of like their next year.
Yes,
Like
I
of
would
100
love.
pages.
I would
Just
love
a little
to see
novella.
that. I think that would be a lot of fun because it's like, oh, we get to spend more time with characters and we kind of get to see them like interacting after the events of Loveless
and how like
how they've grown.
Yeah,
so,
and just like, oh, we know that they're here now, but in a year, how are those like relationships, those friendships changed and grown, or like all of that?
Yeah.
I'd love for all of her books to have like interlinks, because she does say they are from the world.
Technically,
like,
I think
I'd love
every
little
single
hints.
book is in the
Like,
same world,
yeah.
and there are little like hints,
Easter eggs.
Easter eggs. Yeah, like like I
The
can't
only
think of. I
Easter
feel like
egg
I think I'm
noticed.
pretty sure, and I've missed it. Like, so that's why I kind of want to reread the book as well. But like, I'm sure they mentioned Truham School in
They do.
Loveless. So I was just like, What?
They do, and they also mention Kent.
One thing is, like, you know how the one character wore the little pin for like the boy band?
Yes.
That is, yeah, Alicia, I know you would have. But that, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that boy band is
From
a
I Was
band.
Born for This, yeah?
Yeah. From
Yeah,
I Was
that's one I
Born to
haven't read yet,
This.
but I know it's brought on. But yes, I'd love another book from the world, and especially if it was about other characters from any of the other books, like
or
Alice,
even like a different,
or
like, if we even like had a little novella for this story, but from a different character's point of view.
Like, you know how Solitaire is Tori? I'd love one to be about like Charlie's other friends as well.
Yeah.
Is it Radio Silence? Is a
It's
lead.
Aled, I think. Yeah.
Yes. But to answer the question, yes, I would read other books.
But yeah.
I'll read anything that Alice Oseman's writes. She could write a freaking shopping list and I would read it.
I mean, a shopping list could tell a story in itself.
I mean, what's in Alice Oseman's fridge? That would be that story.
What do you think she's making for dinner with these ingredients?
That would be an interesting writing exercise, actually. And I think
had
that
this
would be an interesting way to develop characters if you do write. Like, because like you want to develop your characters like off the page, so it's like, oh, what would your character like put on a shopping list if they had to? Like, what do they need? I'm gonna do that for my characters.
We actually did that in one of my fiction classes. The assignment was to make a list of 20 items that your character would have in her purse or backpack, depending on if it was male or female character.
Ooh.
And mine was like half everyday items, so like money, lip gloss, keys, phone, wallet, that kind of thing. And then the other half of the list was all like witchy type things, so like a small athame, potion bottles, crystals, anything like that.
Not me now proceeding to think about like what some of my characters just have in their backpack. I'm like, what would you have there?
I think, well, because I still have to figure out what I'm going to work on in my creative writing class that I'm taking this semester, because I want to work on the same world. So,
does anyone know what her next book will be?
She's bringing out a Heartstopper yearbook, and she is still in the process of finishing Heartstopper 5 online.
And I'm gonna assume that because of everything, I think that she has said that she's currently not working on any sort of like novel at the moment.
Which is fine.
Which makes more than enough sense. Writing the script, working on the yearbook, working on Volume 5 for Heartstopper.
And also Season 2 Heartstopper as well. She's pretty much
Season 2 and 3, because Season 3 has been greenlit as well.
Yeah.
So it's like, ma'am, please take a break and take care of yourself.
Yeah, I'm honestly like, if she doesn't publish like a book like for multiple years, I'd be like, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she's very like, I know she's mentally drained at the moment.
Yeah.
Which is totally understandable.
Which is why when I found out that she was going on hiatus from Heartstopper, I was like, if you didn't, I would be more upset.
I would be concerned.
I'd be more upset.
Like, ma'am.
What books would you recommend that are similar to Loveless?
I mean, obviously anything else by Alice Oseman.
Yes.
Heartstopper.
Would I recommend?
I'll just grab the book. Because it has kind of a similar setting.
Witch Eyes doesn't necessarily have a similarity in like this one, but it does have an LGBT rep in it, so that one would be a good one.
I would recommend Not Quite Out by Louise Willingham, as it has that similar setting. of like a university and characters trying to like I guess would be almost like come to terms with their sexuality. And if I'm not mistaken, the one of the characters is demisexual, which is on the like asexual spectrum.
I've got a list here of books on Goodreads that feature asexual. Every Heart a Doorway by Shannon Maguire is asexual.
Oh,
Apparently, Radio Silence by Alice Oseman's got asexual in it.
wait, who? What?
Radio
Silence
Silence.
by Alice Oseman.
Oh,
Let's Talk About Love by Claire Can. Loveless is on the list.
Obviously.
Rosie
How
wants to read Game of Thrones. She says that's just read it for the book club.
okay.
The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Apparently, that's got asexuality in it.
Mm.
And Vicious by V.E. Schwab. Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor, apparently. Just trying to Dread Nation by Christina Ireland. Yeah, apparently these are all asexual books on.
I know. I'm just trying to think of like ones that are similar based on like the setting or the overall vibe of Loveless and the one that I've already recommended.
I mean, like, if we want to go for LGBT that's based in the school, I would recommend Noah Can't Even by Simon James Green. That's gay. That's male. But, yeah, that was really good. It's really funny and it's based in school. And very British.
Yeah, I don't know what other ones.
I can't think of any others off the top of my head either.
Yeah. I could only really think of the one.
Do we have any other comments about Loveless that we would like to share?
Not that I can think of.
No.
Side note, I love the cover.
That cover or this cover?
I mean,
I like both. It's just simple.
This one's very purple.
I like that.
I know that I will at some point.
Mine has like the shiny.
The American one's like
around.
Alice Oseman's Doodles one, which is like.
I've already established that I want all of the UK editions and the US editions of all of Alice's books. I don't care if it puts me in debt.
You probably should care if it puts you in debt, but
I'm not going to buy them all. I say that as I have.
No, the bank account would care. Hope doesn't care.
Exactly.
Yeah. That's what I was thinking. Hope doesn't care, but her bank account says otherwise. Unless she deems like over time.
Years.
Yeah.
I'm talking like maybe like by like the end of next year or the year after I want to own them all.
I have the American edition because I am in the US.
Yeah.
But
there's an Indigo exclusive paperback with that
I'm pretty
cover,
sure they
and I'm just like,
yeah, this one was labeled Barnes & Noble's YA book club exclusive edition because I think there's actually something in the back.
Then yes, I don't care how much it costs to send it
Have
to me.
they done the American one for I Was Born for this yet?
I think that one comes
because I'm pretty sure that's coming out soon. If not, I just can't remember if it was released or not.
US edition. Yeah, it is Goodreads. I need the other edition.
When you go to your like part 1 page where it says part 1, does it have like a little graphic on it?
No.
Because mine has little graphics.
Ooh, how much does it cost to ship something to Canada?
Yeah,
I have no idea.
Yeah.
Mine's a fancy schmancy.
It's because it's a beautiful hardcover. Hardcover.
I know. Now I'm like, Indigo. They have that's the wrong thing.
It's purple all the way around.
Yeah, I'll probably get my own copy. At some point, I'll probably just go with whatever is cheapest because I am a cheapskate.
Yeah,
Nothing wrong with that.
there's going to be a Indigo exclusive paperback that comes out in September. So I will probably get that at some point.
She's just gonna have a whole shelf. Like, it's gonna be like right behind her, a whole shelf of
Alice
Alice
Oseman
Oseman.
shelf.
Yep.
There's probably going to be multiple shelves at some point in the future dedicated to different authors.
I mean, fair.
I know a cheap option.
I am not
Ask Katie.
scanning it and printing it. That would take me forever. And also a lot of ink and paper.
I'm not going to commit piracy because that is a
And that
You have to support the authors, yes.
and
Community
I
we support.
don't want to take money away from Alice Oseman if I can avoid it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, at that point I'm buying so much stuff by Alice Oseman. I'm like, would you just like the access to my bank account?
Every time she comes out with a new book, Hope's just gonna be like, "Here you go. Here's my money."
Oh, I pre-order that. I need to pre-order the yearbook.
Yeah, I also want to get the coloring book, the Heartstopper.
I want that. I want
There's
two
a
copies.
coloring
One to
book.
actually color. Yeah. I want two. I want one to color in and one to not.
I also there's a lot of things that I want, but
No, don't get me
I've done
started.
that
I'll
with
start
Harry
by
Potter.
putting them all in my Indigo cart and accidentally hit the checkout button.
Here's a comment that isn't
Accidentally, she
related.
says.
Here's a comment that isn't related to like Alice Oseman per se, but like, what are your top 5 favorite authors at the moment?
Tracy Wolf, Elena Armas, I'm trying to think of what I've read recently.
Mm.
Alice Oseman, because I read the Heartstoppers. Cassandra Clare, because I'm reading the Mortal Instruments. And I don't think I have a 5th one. I only have 4.
I know that I would say Alice Oseman, Casey McQuiston, Cassandra Clare, Sarah J. Maas. There's multiple authors that I feel like deserve that 5th spot. I'm like, I could do a top 10.
I know, it's
what?
so hard.
Who did you say? Cassandra Clare, Casey McQuiston, Alice Oseman. What else did
And
you say?
Sarah J. Maas.
Sarah J. Maas. What about Jennifer Armentrout?
Well, I know, but I'm like Jennifer L. Armentrout, but also kind of what Amanda Foodie. I love her books.
No, I said 5.
I know. I'm like, I can keep on going. I can't pick a top 5.
That's why I wanted to be mean and give you 5. I mean, obviously, I would have Alice Oseman.
Yeah.
I would have Jennifer Armentrout. I would have Cassandra Clare. I would have Bridget Camera.
That's all of our homework. We now have to make a video of our 5 favorite authors.
Oh, I would do probably a top 10 because I can't.
Maybe
No, it
Rochelle
has-
Mead.
it's
I
only
love the
5.
Vampire Academy series.
No.
You can do honorable mentions.
Just starts listing every single author I've ever given a book 5 stars from.
let me see. My 5 would be Rick Riordan, Sarah J. Maas,
Oh, I
Marina
forgot him.
Simcoe, Alice Oseman, and Carlin Schultz.
I forgot about Rick Riordan. He's a good one too. Stephanie Meyer. She's a good one.
I mean, Carlin
Robin
Schultz will
Hood.
always be my favorite author because she's a wonderful human being, even though she's only written 3 things. And I got to interview her, so that kind of automatically puts her at the top of my list.
Yeah.
Are you talking about Sophie Kinsella, Rosie?
V. Schwab, Robin Hood, Katie Kitcat. I'm not an author. And
I
it's
didn't even notice that.
George R. Marin.
Martin.
George R. Marin. Yeah, Shopaholic. Sophie Kinsella. I've only read 2 books, I think, by Sophie Kinsella. One is one of my favorite books ever, and that's I've Got Your Number.
Yeah,
But
I know that.
I think the ones that I listed as my top 5, I've read more books from.
Well,
Like
yeah,
Jennifer
that's what
Armentrout
I'm
is an auto
thinking.
by author for me.
Is I'm just like, okay, there's some that
Oh,
I've
Casey
only read
West.
like 2 books from, and I'm like, okay, they're favorites, but
Casey West is also pretty good.
Yeah,
I met her.
Yeah, Casey West, Cassandra Clare, Alice Oseman, Bridget Camera.
Oh, I mean,
What else did I say?
I've met Casey West a couple of times, and she's super nice too.
Oh, Casey West.
if we're going by stuff that we've mostly read, then for me it would be J.K. Rowling, Stephanie Meyer. Where's the other one? J.K. Rowling, Stephanie Meyer, Leah Clifford,
Trans
Kira-
women are real women.
Kira Cass.
Jennifer Armentrout.
Huh?
I was saying, in reference to She Who Must Not Be Named, trans women are real women, and trans men are real men. That is all.
I forgot about Kira Cass and Amanda Hawking. Those are the ones I've read the most. Everything else is either I've started the series or haven't finished a book or have started a book from them yet. Jennifer L. Armentrout.
Yeah, I auto buy
twin
Jennifer Armentrout's books. I also auto buy Colleen Hoover's books as well.
shit, yeah, fuck, Colleen Hoover is also on my list of favorite authors.
I know. I would
She
have to do a
covered
top-
all of the words right there. Jesus.
Sorry.
Yeah. Shit, fuck, bollocks.
I'm sorry. I have like no filter sometimes, and that just the filter.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think. Cassandra Clare is one I bought. Like, I've got all of her books, even though I'm way behind in the Shadowhunter series. Jennifer Armentrout, I'm the same. Casey West, I auto buy her books. Colleen Hoover,
now she's starting to name them all.
And Penelope Douglas, I tend to auto buy her books too.
Yeah.
Jennifer L. Armentrout, Anna Todd.
Jacqueline Wilson, I've just started getting books because that was a childhood author, and she's so lovely in person. What else have I got? Shitloads of books for. Sarah J. Maas, I guess, as well.
We're just listing authors now at this point.
I'm just listing the ones that I auto buy that I don't even have to look what it's about. That I would just.
I know an auto buy author of mine is Aidan Thomas. I have no idea what his new book is about that comes out in September. I have it pre-ordered. Something to do with gods. That's all I know.
A story about gods is always interesting.
It's just
it's like the children of gods or something. I don't know.
This is where we're testing Rosie as stalker.
Okay.
Let's see how much you remember from my videos, Rosie.
Let's see how much, yeah. Well, before we close this off and any other comments about the book, we're good on that front.
Yes.
Yep. Yeah. I don't have anything else to add.
And so I believe our next book will be Unravelby by Tahara Mafi. And we're still determining when we will have our live stream. So check Twitter.
It'll be on my channel, and I think we're doing the 13th.
I think we're doing the 13th, and we'll do it a little bit earlier. Because I think we were all ready by 7. I can't even remember why we did it at 9. I feel like somebody had a commitment.
I don't know when we did
it. It was such a long time ago that we arranged it, so I can't remember.
What's it now? What happened now?
I don't.
I know, like, the reason that we did it at 9, like, my time tonight, I feel like somebody had a commitment, which is why we pushed it, because originally the thumbnail was 2
Yeah,
hours earlier.
I don't know, but it will be back to the
But yeah, it'll be back,
7
like, just
p.m.
7 p.m.
BST,
BST,
2 p.m. EST. Brain can't compute other times.
That would be noon for us.
Yeah.
Noon MST.
Gotcha.
and, yeah, 8 p.m. for
Rosie.
Europe.
Oh my goodness.
Just
Rosie
8 p.m.
doesn't
for-
like the next book.
Well, you don't have to show up to the live.
But
Shit. We just decided to. It was
But
actually
keep an
Sam that
eye on
suggested
the-
it. I
like,
think.
keep an eye on the Twitter, and things will be announced officially there. Speaking of the Twitter, the poll.
Yes, there's a poll up for August's book, so go vote.
Yeah.
It's up for a week, as always. Pictures
There's
are in the
some
comments.
different.
I think we've gotten quite a bit of polling for that already.
Yeah.
We've already got 9
Ooh.
votes.
And one thing is
nice.
technically, if you want to be specific, for if you happen to have poll pick on your Witchathon board,
That counts.
that counts.
That counts.
Or if you have
For
book
August,
club
yeah.
or buddy read, because technically
Speaking
I
of-
say a book club
Mm.
book is
Speaking
a
of
buddy read.
John, we are all hosts.
And
Yes.
also, if like I put this on the Twitter as well, but like feel free to always suggest books to like
Yeah.
any of the hosts or myself or the Twitter, and we can always like pop them in the poll. Like if we,
Yeah.
if it comes out the random generator, or if we're like, oh yeah, that's a good one,
Yeah.
Yeah.
then yeah, feel free to suggest books. So that way you get more involved.
Yes. Do that thing.
Otherwise, we're just suggesting random books that are on our TBRs.
I mean,
or that are-
literally this month, the only requirement was pick a standalone to
Yeah,
suggest.
yeah.
Yep.
And we try to do it by like series standalone, so it's
Yeah.
Den of Vipers.
And the Vipers.
I'll host that
You know
live
what?
show.
That would actually be a really good live show.
I will host that. If we ever do that, I claim dibs for that live show.
Okay, so keep that one in mind. We'll put that on September's poll.
August, so that would have to be. And I feel like October has to be some sort of like spooky month. Or...
Spoochy. Spooky.
And December's got a
Spooky
bit
or
Christmassy.
witchy or like just something kind of like Halloween horror.
Yeah, like whether it's paranormal, witchy.
I mean, my birthday month is
Dark
October,
Academia.
so
That means Morgan will have to suggest a book.
well, of course I'll be suggesting.
And
a
December's
book.
got to be something Christmas.
And I will take it as a personal offense if my book does not win, because that
If it's
literally
anything
means
like
nothing.
okay.
That random
Okay.
generator. Honestly, it really, really wanted Hope's book. It was like really repeated it like 10 times.
No,
I
it was
like,
the universe
give
telling me
me
I
a
needed to read the goddamn book.
Okay,
And
it's
so the thing
funny
is, if it's
because-
anything like previous months, Katie's book will win.
but
Every
it's
single time
funny
Katie has
I
suggested a
tried
book, it
to
has
pick
won.
books
because
that are on
Katie
other
forgot
people's
to put
radars. too.
my book, my pick, on the original list. So I messaged her, I was like, hey, Katie, you kind of forgot about my book. She's like, oh shit, I'll
I
read
know,
it.
that's what I was like, oh
Same
shit,
ones
yeah, I
again.
thought I'd forgot something.
Yeah. Which, when you're having like 5-6 books being thrown out to you, you might accidentally.
Chickens, Year of the Reaper. Year of the Reaper. Not my
See?
problem.
Year of the Reaper, Year of the Reaper.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I'm not upset. I just thought it was hilarious.
Year of the Reaper. Year of the Reaper.
What is up?
Honestly, that's how I had it. And I was like, I just want 4 books. And it's just like, Year of the Reaper, Year of the Reaper, Year of the Reaper, The Powers Department.
It was telling you what book to read.
Well, see, next time what you have to do is once it says the title of a book, then you remove that title and then it won't show up again.
Yeah.
But on that note, that's the next book is Unravel Me by Tahara Mafi. It'll be on Morgan's channel, and it'll be August 13th at
August 13th.
whatever the times are.
7 p.m. BST.
We'll have all of that.
Yeah.
In the
On the
Twitter
Twitter?
feed. Yep, on the Twitters.
Yes.
On the
And
Twitter.
we thank everyone for coming. Thank you for being here, ladies, to do
Yes.
the book discussion.
Yeah.
Thank you for everyone who's
It
in
was
the
a
comments,
good book to read.
especially
Yep.
Yes.
especially Rosie and Sam and Lucinda.
Yeah.
Everyone here commenting. And we
And
will see
to those who
everyone.
watch on repeat as well.
Yes.
Yep. I will put everyone's information in the description, and please go check their channels. English is not my strong suit today.
And follow the Twitter at LN Bookworming.
Right. I feel like today is like a Yoda day. English you must. But thanks for joining us, and we will see you guys next time.
Bye.
Bye. And we'll see you guys